Hey, what's up, guys? I just want to make a quick video on why I feel home ownership is more of a luxury and not necessarily the best financial investment. So, if you paid attention to the news or Instagram Reels or TikTok the past few years, you've seen how home prices have appreciated 40 to 50% in that time frame. And this is kind of odd because mortgage rates have essentially doubled the past few years as well. And it costs more now, more than ever, to own a home in the US. So I just wanted to go over the risk involved with home ownership. And managing risk is pretty much everything in the world of finance. So owning a home, you are responsible for the expenses, you're responsible for the repairs, and versus renting where you can just hand that off to your landlord. So a couple months ago, I got a letter in the mail saying how my homeowner's insurance is going to double the year 2024 this year from $1,600 to $3,200. And it got me really thinking about, you know, if you weren't planning for this, if you didn't have room in your budget for this, how would you operate the next year or so? So if you have a mortgage, which a majority of Americans do, you're required to have homeowners insurance for the lender to protect their collateral, which is your house. Uh, so how would somebody with a really tight budget afford an extra $140 per month bill essentially? And it got me thinking, what's some other variable expenses? Well, I thought about property taxes. With home prices value increasing 40 to 50% past few years, your property taxes are probably going to go up as well because your property taxes are based on the value of your property, your home, your land, etc. So that's another variable expense that a lot of people don't really think about. And then, of course, the big elephant in the room is as a homeowner, you are responsible for the repairs, you're responsible for the maintenance, which is huge. So years back, I woke up one morning, I'm sure it was a Monday morning, of course, and my hot water heater leaked all over my floor. It was like $4,000 to clean that mess up and to make the repairs to the floor, replace a hot water heater, etc. And I was responsible for that. My wife and I were responsible for that. We've also replaced an air conditioning unit a couple years ago, and of course it went out in the heat of the summer, so we had no option. That was another $4,000 that we were on the hook for as a homeowner. And something is always breaking, no matter how new the home is, you're going to have maintenance expenses. And a lot of people I feel don't plan for that, especially if they're buying a new home. All they see is that mortgage, that year's insurance, that year's taxes, and I can afford this, yes, I'm getting it. I just want people to start thinking about not only this year, but next year and the year after that, and to make room in their budget if they're going to sign that 30-year mortgage, because the expenses are not fixed as a homeowner versus a renter. So if you're renting, depending on how long your lease is, you can project your expenses, whether it be a year, 2 years, however long your lease is as a renter. So you know how much it's going to cost for your residence, where you sleep at night. It's going to be $1,000 a month, $1,200 a month, so on and so forth. You'll have variable expenses when it comes to your power and water bill, but as far as the property itself, you know how much it's going to cost you to stay there. So there again, we're managing risk. So in summary, just don't feel pressured to buy a home just because you just turned 30 years old or you're about to get married. Home ownership is the American dream. However, it's not for everybody, and it may not be for you today, but maybe a couple years from now. So with ever increasing expenses and ever increasing home prices, people are really feeling pressured to buy that home, and they may not think about it for the long term. You are signing up to a 30-year mortgage here, and it's probably the biggest financial decision you'll ever make is buying a home. It's one of the largest, if not the largest purchase you'll make in your lifetime, essentially. And most of the time, it's your biggest asset is your home. So I really just want people to think about, the expenses when it comes to home ownership. Can you afford it? I don't want to see people filing bankruptcy because their AC unit went out and they couldn't afford it. And it just snowballed from there. I know renting gets a really bad rap, especially on social media, because that landlord is sitting there owning an appreciating asset when you're sitting there paying their bills for them. And I get that. But then again, that landlord has a lot of responsibility, is holding a lot of risk by owning that property. And renting, it could be a long-term option for some people. There again, I am a homeowner. I believe in home ownership. It's my house I purchased 6 years ago was one of the best investments I ever made. However, times have changed a little bit, so I want people to be thinking about not just this year, but down the road, and be ready for those variable expenses when it comes to home ownership. But in summary, I really appreciate you guys watching the video. I love finance. I have a passion for finance. I'm not in the financial industry anymore, but I enjoy talking about it, and I figured why not make 5-10 minute videos before play some PlayStation every week anyway. So if you will, please hit that like button, subscribe. I'm going to try to do a video every week or so, or if something big happens in the financial world. I pay attention to the stock market every day. I love the financial industry, and I just want to talk about it, want to stay involved in it. So again, I appreciate it. We'll see you next time.